So my name is Trevor Wallace. I'm an expedition filmmaker, a member of the Explorers Club. I'm currently in Tuva in southern Siberia on expedition making a feature film about a group of archaeologists excavating the largest Scythian tomb, oldest Scythian tomb ever found. As you can see, I'm surrounded by mosquitoes and out in the field, this is what it's like. I would love to share some tips with what it means and what it takes to be an expedition filmmaker, and what I've learned over the past, almost 8 years now doing this work. I think first and foremost, it's important to make the connections with the people that you're working with. For instance, if your subject matter is archaeologists like me, learning about archaeology, being passionate about archaeology, reading, researching, so you can really become part of the team. You're not just a filmmaker, aside from it, you must be a team member. So on this project, I've done some digging, I've done a lot of research on this subject, and I've gotten really close with my archaeologist friends. Say if you're doing a documentary about mountaineers, you need to get some mountaineering skills, you need to know the history and understand that, and become a team member of those people. In terms of equipment, I like very light equipment. I use small Sony mirrorless cameras. They're not super big, but they shoot in 4K. They can also shoot slow motion, 120 frames per second, which can get really beautiful shots. And they have great auto focus of facial tracking, especially with the Sony a6300. It's a great camera, and it's the one I've used for the past 3 years doing this project. I think one thing that a lot of first-time filmmakers forget about is audio. Recording good audio is so important to your story. People worry about, do I need a Red Epic or an ARRI Alexa camera to make a film? But you don't. What you need is a story, and audio is 50% of your story. It's audio visual. Half of what you're seeing and half of what you're hearing that brings you along. So I think first and foremost, it's making sure you have a good story, not just an interesting topic, because there are many interesting topics out there. People who juggle machetes, or somebody from the South Pacific who makes pizza. But what is the narrative arc? What is the journey, or the dynamic, the relationships? So for me, that's when I decide what topic I'm going to choose. It has to be a story of people and a human story, and not just a bunch of interesting facts. So working here in Tuva is fascinating. I think for most people in the United States, where I'm from, and the West, this is a blank spot on the map. Not very many people know about Eurasia, about steppe culture, about nomadic culture, and I find it amazing to document this because it's disappearing. With globalization, with people being settled, we're losing this part of the human identity, this part of what it means to be nomadic, to herd horses and cattle, and to live in these lands. And with this project in particular, we can see that this has been going on for thousands of years. And even though one might think of ancient cultures that were, civilizations, so to speak, like the Egyptians or the Mayans or the Greeks, being the most sophisticated, Scythians, these nomadic steppe peoples, built these burial mounds that took thousands of people to construct. They had artifacts that are incredibly intricate, with a sophisticated artistic style that one would think came from a settled agricultural society and not nomads. So really there is unlimited amount of stories to tell here. the current story of nomadic people, the cultures here, and then all of the stories of the past. I think for me, understanding how modern nomads continue to exist in a time where cities are getting bigger and people are flocking towards the small city centers, and how they maintain their traditional livelihoods. For instance, we interviewed some nomads in the taiga forest this way, and they use solar panels, they use cell phones, they have even tablets, but these are all things that help them continue their traditional lifestyle. It doesn't match with our kind of idea of this exotic other person, but really they're living a totally different life, and this technology helps them continue their seasonal migrations, their relationship to animals, the freedom that they have. They don't have a boss or a manager telling them what to do. They live their own lives, and at least in the small few experiences I've had, they seem happy to keep these traditions, even though it's a very difficult life, of course, in some respects, because of the weather, because of, a forest fire or a very cold winter could kill all of their animals. But they, in keeping their culture and keeping their traditions, have a very strong sense of identity. So I feel really lucky to be here doing this project in what they call the Valley of the Czars, or the Valley of the Kings, where there's so much history, these royal burial mounds that very few archaeologists get to excavate, and very few foreigners really get to come. I mean, last year we were a group of just 8 people going and trying to do some test excavations of this site, and now this year we have RGO, the Russian Geographic Society, people from all over the world coming and understanding this history and this culture. And I'm really proud to be part of it. I'm proud to document it. And I just love being part of the team because they're wonderful people. The archaeologists I work with are so hardworking, they're so dedicated, and they do not shy away from any of the challenges, because it's not an easy place to work. In some cases the weather is very intense. We've had torrential rains, we've had hailstorms, we've had our transport be damaged. This kurgan is in a swamp, which is very unusual. We're constantly surrounded by mosquitoes, but we have an amazing time. We enjoy each other's company. We push each other to do the best possible work that we can, and we support each other as well in doing different things. I help in any way I can. I work in the kitchen here sometimes, peeling potatoes. Usually I'm flying drones or filming things, but I am part of the team as well. Yesterday we moved large beams to reconstruct our bridge, pulling these very heavy logs through the river. And that's just part of being out here, and also part of why I love it.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction. 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 satisfaction.